Hey guys, I'm back. Off the top, if you're here, thank you for being here. My main goal with my videos is to be silly, lighthearted, and just kind of like sharing the experience that is life together. So I've decided I want to do predominantly lighthearted stuff with like the occasional, just like sit down, chill, chit chat kind of moment. This video will probably be the most serious, if we can even call it that, of like what I'm wanting to post, but I've got so much to tell you guys. So let's pretend like we didn't read the title, okay? As Lois Griffin says, this is a two hands around the coffee mug kind of conversation. And that is that I got fired. Yup, I got canned. Is that the term? Because I keep saying that and I'm not fully confident that that is the correct term. No, it's not jugs. Whatever. I'm going to grab my phone because I've been recording for 2 minutes and I'm already very easily distracted. So we're going to stay on topic with my notes here. Okay. So before I say anything about all of this, I want to say that I recognize that I am very lucky, blessed, and privileged to be able to make light of any of this and see the positives in this situation. People get fired every single day, and sometimes it's not a big deal. And for some people, it's extremely traumatic for them and their families. So just know that I'm just talking about my experience, and I recognize that I am very privileged to be positive about this, and more importantly, have the people in my life, mainly my husband, who are making it even possible for me to continue on with the day-to-day while being unemployed. Okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about what happened. So, obviously I'm not going to spill all the tea because embarrassing and personal, but I was working a sales job, and come to find out, sales is not for me. So I got called in one day, and this is so funny to me for some reason. The night before, I had fallen off my bike. And not me limping into the office, being like, hey guys, fell off my bike last night, like in such a silly mood. And I noticed that my vibe was not being matched. And that was the first red flag. So I'm going to skip what happened because, again, personal. Obviously don't love talking about that. But let's flash forward to me texting my mom, my poor mom, which, mind you, my parents had known my feelings towards this job and the job before it that was extremely similar. So, I'm very lucky to have very supportive parents. And that's why my mom was the first person I texted, because with this job, I had a company car, and I do not have a car that's mine outside of that. So in getting fired, I did not just lose my job, I also lost my car. So I texted my mom and said, I just got fired. Can you please come pick me up? I love that we can laugh now, guys, because I was not laughing when I sent that text. Let me just say that. So I texted my mom that, and her and my dad, so sweet. They were literally helping somebody, an elderly person, get groceries at the time. Are you kidding me? So that left me in a position to be in the office a lot longer than I wanted to be. So that was fun. But yes, they got there. They were so sweet. I won't get into it because I'll start crying, but they were very sweet and very supportive. Thank you, Mom and Dad, as well as literally everybody else that I told that day, which was just family. And yeah, I'm very grateful for that. But if you've ever been fired, you may know that it is the most embarrassing, humiliating, shameful experience. It just feels like hey guys, I failed. Like, there's not much else to say. And I would love to like get into why I was fired and all that, but like honestly, my past behind me like a ponytail. Am I right? As you can imagine, there was like the immediate shock, the disbelief, the like fear for the future, the instability, all of that. With that being said, I got fired at the beginning of August, and I have tried to get back into content creation to just kind of stay busy, obviously while I'm job hunting and whatnot. And I have tried filming this conversation more. I lost count. I tried filming a get ready with me. I tried like vlogging like I used to. I've tried pretty much everything, and it was not working out. I just want to go to past me and give her the biggest hug and be like, bestie, it's not that deep. Like, you know, I don't know. I was just in such a manic, scared, just weird headspace. And I'm just thankful that I'm in a place now that we can talk about this. We can kind of laugh about certain aspects of it. It just feels good to move on. And that has been possible to an epiphany that occurred about a week ago, which I will get into later. But let's just say in those first couple of weeks, I hit rock bottom. I was having issues with unemployment. Girl, when I was trying to vlog about all this, I was trying to explain in detail everything that was going wrong for me trying to collect unemployment. And the video made no sense because there's so many moving parts and pieces, and we're dealing with the government. So of course nothing is happening quickly. But long story short, my first unemployment check literally came like 3 days ago. So happy times. That's a huge sense of relief. It's also part of the reason why I'm able to even be recording this right now, because I'm finally in a better headspace, because finances aren't as scary as they were when I was bringing home $0.00. But anyway, I was at, like I said, rock bottom, and my sweet, sweet sister and brother-in-law live in Washington, and they offered me to come stay with them. And my baby niece, she just turned 1. They offered me to come stay with them as like a change of scenery to help get out of the rut. I don't know if y'all know this, but the job market right now is a joke. So I had applied for so many jobs before I went to Seattle and didn't receive as much as a phone call. No interviews, no phone calls, no emails, just like crickets. Which is discouraging, to say the least. So like I said, they offered me to come up there to spend some time with them and my niece. And again, change of scenery. Seattle is so beautiful. And then they're both extremely successful. And they also helped me with my resume and my LinkedIn profile and cover letters and stuff like that, which was really, really nice of them. My brother-in-law even took me to work with him one day. And like, it was so cool. Anyway, so many cool things happened on that trip to my brother and sister-in-law and my niece, because even though she can't talk yet fully, she does not know how much joy she brings me. So anyway, to the 3 of you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You really pulled me out of a rut that seemed so difficult to come out of at the time. And just being in their presence and part of their day-to-day life, and just watching them be, it really took me out of what I was digging myself into here. And it was everything I needed. So thank you guys. Love y'all. Something that happened on the way to Seattle is, and I need you guys to know, one thing about me is I love to talk. Act surprised. Thank you. But one place I do not like to talk is the airplane. Don't talk to me. Do not talk to me, please. An airplane really is a cool opportunity to meet people you might otherwise never meet. But the flight to Seattle, I think, is like 4 hours. And I stayed up way too late the night before, and I was just ready to stick in my headphones and be so excited to land. I immediately hit it off with the person who was sitting to my right. So I had the window seat. There was no one in between us, thank God. And then he sat here, and then his buddy sat in front of him. So we're going to call them A and B, right? So A is sitting next to me, B is sitting in front of A. A and I totally hit it off. He was so funny. He's in his, I think he's in his 40s. And we were just shooting the shit, man. Like, we were talking about the most random stuff. We had very weirdly similar tastes in music and books. Like, he was so funny and cool. And I'm very grateful to have met him. Well, our conversation was so good that his friend in front of us was chiming in every once in a while. And I got to the part where, why am I going to Seattle? And I was like, this is kind of like a soul searching trip. I just got fired. Kind of down bad about it. And his friend chimed in because at this point we'd been talking for, I'm so sorry to the people around us, 2 hours. And we'd even shared a shot or two. Okay. So I was not at all in networking mode whatsoever. I was just being me, talking about pop culture and getting a little tipsy on the plane. So B said to A, he's like, dude, she would fit in so well at the company I work for. And then he was like, tell me about your experience. So I did. And he was like, yeah, you need to apply for this job. The second you land, we've been looking for someone forever. People applying just don't have enough experience. It sounds like you do. And I was just like, no fucking way, bro. No way am I on my way to a soul searching trip where the main goal of this trip is to really spruce up the resume, the cover letters, the LinkedIn, and maybe do some mock interviews, but also family time soul searching, right? Just to stay productive. I've only gotten one job from just calling a number and applying. Every other job I've ever gotten was because I knew somebody. That's just how it is these days. And I thought, this is my first offer like this that I've had at all. And flash forward, by the end of the trip, I had an interview scheduled. And I didn't say this earlier. I originally planned to stay for 1 week, and my brother and sister-in-law are so amazing. They asked me to stay another week, and I said, yeah. Let me think about that. Yes. In those 2 weeks, I had applied to a ton of other jobs just to not put all my eggs in one basket. And this one was going so well. I was talking to HR, I was talking to all these people, got an interview for right when I came back home. And when we negotiated pay, it was looking so good. I was like, this is too good to be true. There's no way. But then again, maybe this is why all of this happened. And they were even saying that on the plane. They were like, imagine this story, when y'all work together, being we met on a plane. Because I got fired. That's why I was on that plane. I had an interview and it went so well. Maybe one of the best interviews, in my opinion. The feedback I was getting in real time was, oh my gosh, you would fit in so perfectly on our team. Your experience is weirdly relevant to what we would need you to be doing. That's crazy because that's such a niche thing that's hard to find. That's so great that you've worked a hybrid job before, so you're familiar with, working from home and coming in the office. It was so promising. And then at the end of the call, they were even saying, sharing perks about working for the company. And in my experience, if they start trying to sell the job to you, that's a pretty good sign, right? 2 weeks later, I found out I did not get the job. And insert spiral number 2. I just felt like all of the progress and even more so the support that I had from my entire family, just the vibes were vibing. We were all feeling this is it. This is why you got fired in the first place. It's not too good to be true. Good things can happen to you. Let it happen. And then, they told me they were looking for someone with a little bit more experience, which is understandable. But now we're back to square one, right? So this was actually a few weeks ago that I got the news that I did not get this job. It just felt like this was what the past couple of months felt like. Like, got fired, yikes, went to Seattle, wow, I'm a whole new woman. I realized my purposes in life and what's important to me, and oh my gosh, this job is really working out. Like, I think this is gonna happen. And then boom, you didn't get the job. Boom, your unemployment's not coming through. Start all over. And it was just like, I did not do all of that deep work, soul searching, praying, meditating, journaling in Seattle. I'm not going to let that go to waste because I had such a good time there. And my brother and sister-in-law were being so loving. And they were also very encouraging in that, like, I went to one of my niece's music classes and they were like, dude, you could totally do this. We pay this much for this. It's 45 minutes long. There's this many parents here. Like, she's making this much money. Like, bro, maybe you do something like that. Maybe you do that on the side and you write scripts, or maybe you create content. Like, don't limit yourself, you know? And I just already felt like I'd let so many people down just being in the position I was in. I didn't want to let them down again by letting myself get, well, not that depression is controllable, but I guess letting that depressive episode consume me once again. This is going to sound contradictory because it's like, I finally got my unemployment check, but my worth is not decided by money or productivity. I mean, it's not, right? Like, if we all want to be like hippie mode, peace on earth, like, none of it even matters, man. Like, it's all about your loved ones and making the most of your time on earth. Like, absolutely. But also, my husband and I have bills to pay. So how can we meet in the middle here? I feel like now that the unemployment pay is coming through, that obviously lifted my spirits. But right before it did, I had an epiphany. We went camping at this off-roading park that we go to like 5 or 6 times a year. And just being back in nature like I was in Seattle, and all those good vibes that I felt there and all the promising future feelings that I felt there, they all just kind of came rushing back. And being with my siblings and my husband and I celebrated 5 years of marriage while we were out there. That's crazy. It was just immaculate vibes. What can I say? And while we were out there, I was like, I admire and respect people's work ethic and determination and self-discipline, but I don't like or love anybody anymore because of their job or what they do or don't contribute to corporate America. You know what I'm saying? Like, that sounds kind of shitty, especially coming from someone who's unemployed. It's like, okay, well, are you just making everyone else around you small so that you can feel big? Like, no. It's more so that I have always based my worth around my productivity, my accomplishments, growth. And I hit the ground running when I was like, 18. Not to say that I'm like the biggest hustler in the world. Like, I don't even have a bachelor's degree. Okay, so there's my slice of humble pie. But like, I do have an associate's degree, and I started working like immediately out of high school, was immediately like, let's get a full-time job. Let's move out. Like, let's do the damn thing. During this time in my life of unemployment, I've had a lot of time alone with my thoughts, which is something that I used to avoid like the plague. And I would hide it by a never-ending to-do list and setting goals of, you know, where do I want to be working? How much do I want to be making this time next year? Blah, 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 blah. And hey, that stuff it matters, but it's not a priority for me. And if it is for you, props, because I can't. Being in sales was such a rat race. It's such a pro overtime, pro like whatever it takes for the grind, man. Like, and that's just not me. Again, props to you if you're good at that, because I hated it. Hated it. Anyway, all of that to say, my epiphany was, hey dude, like, you have not taken a massive step back and been like, what do I want to accomplish? What do I want to prioritize? it was always related to work. I feel like I really gave my all to companies that could care less. And it was all for the sake of just climbing the ladder, you know? I keep talking about this epiphany I had. It's basically that my worth is not defined by my job or my accomplishments or any of that stuff. In this life, if I'm so lucky, I want to spend as much time with my loved ones as possible and my pets. Love my pets. I love to make people laugh. I love to write. And shit, I love taking time off. Who doesn't? And if it's possible for me to find a way to be my own boss and not have to ask somebody if I can take time off, just do it when I need and want to, yeah, girl, I'm going for it. I'm going to do that. And here's the thing. Everybody wants that. So if any of it were easy, everybody would have that because everyone would do it, but it's not. I'm just trying to really think outside of the box, and put my heart and soul into creating. So that's videos, that's writing, content creation, and media. I want to get back into that because that's where my roots are. That's what I studied in high school. I studied a little bit of it in college. I now have a lot of experience in marketing. I feel like I'm trying to sell myself to y'all. I'm like, please hire me. I think I need to lean into the entrepreneurial, I always struggle with this word. I need to lean into the entrepreneurial, you know what?
Entrepreneurial
Spirit, that I have always had, but didn't feel confident enough to embrace. Because right now, I'm kind of looking at this as I have 2 jobs. Half of me needs to be applying for jobs, keeping my unemployment coming in. And then my other job is to create. I would say my main focus was obviously always outside of finding a new job has been like doing stuff around the house, which has been so amazing. The house to-do list never ends. If you know, you know. And just having the time to check off some stuff that have been on my to-do list for literally years. It's therapeutic, truly. Me earlier, like, my accomplishments and all that don't define me. And then I'm like, those checks off the to-do list, I finally feel like something. There's a difference between building your identity around accomplishments and feeling peace and satisfaction by accomplishing things that matter to you. Let me grab my notes again because I got off track again. Okay, so lessons learned. What did we learn, guys? Sales wasn't and isn't for me. Good or bad, nothing is permanent. Let me show you my tattoo real quick because if I move around too much, it's going to be like, and no one wants that. So here's my tattoo. Right here. She says nothing is permanent. Isn't she cute? I actually, funny enough, I got that right before I turned in my 2 weeks at a job 2 jobs ago. When shit sucks, like, it's okay because nothing's permanent. And when things are going great, don't take it for granted and soak it in because nothing is permanent. Last but not least, something that I learned that I already knew, but it's just been further confirmed for me is that my husband and my family are so amazing. And I'm not going to talk about it too much because I'll start crying. If it's not throwing me a bone every once in a while, like paying for my meal or just something seemingly small like that, that just means the world to me, to as big as letting me borrow their cars. And then for Logan, who literally we talked about it today, I'm like, hey, I have a new pep in my step. Like, I want to start creating content again, but you know, I'm still going to be applying for jobs. I'm still going to be looking and all that. And I just kind of was getting a pulse check. Like, is he okay with that? Because I'm the one sitting my ass at home when he's getting up to go to work every day. So want to make sure that we're good on that. And he told me, you have the rare opportunity to at least try it and go after your dreams. So you should do it. Love him down. He's the best. This has been a test of faith, and I'm honestly grateful for it. What's the verse? Consider trials pure joy. Hey, I'm not trying to preach to you guys, okay? That's my thing. Don't want to push it on anyone. But I will just say, for me personally, My faith has been tested, and I'm glad it has, because it has really changed my perspective on a lot of things that I think needed to change a long time ago. But better late than never. If you are still here, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I haven't uploaded anything in a year, but the last 3 months have felt like a year. So much has happened. I'm excited for the future. I just wanted to catch you guys up before we start having fun again. Okay? If this resonated with you at all, I hope at least one thing I said helped. I got fired, but I am convinced that it is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm excited to prove it. Love you guys. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video.